Hey guys, have you heard of the Brimfield Fair? You know, only the largest antique fair in the northeastern United States. Well, did you know that there's a Brimfield North? Because last Friday, my fiance comes home from work and she says, "Hey, do you want to go to Brimfield North tomorrow?" And I have no idea what she's talking about. She explains to me that there's a Brimfield Fair offshoot antique fair and that it's New Hampshire's largest antique fair and that it's held at the Deerfield Fairgrounds. So she asked me if I want to go, and my first question is, do you think they're going to have Militaria? Because, like, I like antiques as much as the next guy, but if my niche hobby is not represented, then I don't want to spend my entire Saturday afternoon just walking around looking at, like, vintage t-shirts. And this video is me answering the question, can I get Militaria at Brimfield North? Is it worth it to go to Brimfield North just for the Militaria? To give you an understanding of what the show looks like and what the vibe is, I made a little montage and we're going to go to that now. So walking around, you're not seeing a ton of military, but what you do see is a lot of junk sterling silver, like guys selling just piles and piles of silver badges, costume jewelry. Managed to dig these out from one of those costume jewelry and sterling silver dealers. Really, like, not a bad lot. All this was, you know, about $10 a piece.
So this gentleman, this is Philip Breed. He's he's from Lynn, Massachusetts, and he was a sailor in the First World War on the USS Kansas for the U.S. Navy. Cool. And over 65 letters were sent back to his parents in Lynn, Mass. And this is all of them. It includes some rare postcards like this one where they're wearing the brown denim. And many of them have the passed by censor stamp.
Nice.
So you know that they were in an active war zone. Most of them were mailed from either Norfolk, Virginia, or Philly, or various places on the eastern seaboard. So they were probably doing some guarding of supply ships or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he got out. He survived the war and went on to be a special agent in the FBI. So that's all being sold as a single lot. I'm not splitting it for history's sake. So.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, so now that you guys have seen the montage, I think we can answer the question. Yes, you're going to be able to find Militaria at Brimfield North, but there's some finer details that we can talk about, like how every single helmet in that montage is fake. I walked over to that table full of helmets thinking, holy shit, I can't even believe how much Militaria I just stumbled upon here in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. And every single helmet was either a bad repaint, or it had a fake decal on it, or it was just an obvious, like, costume fake. And I was just like, man, what the fuck? Like, that's so disappointing because, I don't know, you guys have all been through it, I'm sure, where you see the thing that you think you're looking for and all of a sudden it's garbage. So if you're interested in trying to find German stuff, I would be like a little bit wary about going to Brimfield North for that. I was able to find some really nice US stuff. And I think, again, it's relatively affordable because you're picking it up from people that aren't Militaria dealers. Especially when you go over to a table and it's just like case after case after case of costume jewelry and junk silver. You're going to be able to find some medals. You're going to be able to find some badges, some insignia. And it's going to be stuff that the person selling it is selling wholesale. They don't care about the details. So maybe you find something really nice that just gets tucked in there, lost in the mix, and you recognize the true value of it against the price tag, which is usually like under $10. Another positive is the food truck festival. So you're going to be able to get Italian sausage or soup in a bread bowl or fried dough or whatever you want. Apple cider donuts. There's like 1,000 people in line. They say it's worth the wait. You be the judge. I have no idea. I think a major con a major con for the show is the traffic situation. And it's the same way for the Deerfield Fair. So if you're a New Hampshire local, you're going to be like, oh yeah, it's always terrible. It took us 45 minutes to go 500 feet. It is a very rough traffic situation to get in, so you should go early, which is the golden rule for any antique show, any Militaria show. Go early because everything that you want is going to be sold in the first 15 minutes. And you know that, so you better be there when the sun rises. Another really cool thing about the show is just the community that always shows up to these type of things. So I met Andrew, who you guys saw in the video, and he was great. He was really like patient enough to let me put a camera in his face and talk to me about the grouping that he was selling. And I hope you guys follow him on Instagram because he was a super nice guy. But I also ran into some old friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and I knew them through the Militaria community. But obviously, since we're all looking for the same stuff, we're going to show up to the same antique shows. When you show up to one of these, there's a really good chance somebody else from the Militaria community is going to be there. You can shoot the shit with them. You can enjoy Italian sausage together, stop by the food truck. It's a nice thing. Now, I personally picked up some cool stuff at the show. We were driving there and Carmen asked me, what are you interested in? What are you trying to find? And I was like, I'm really just going to look for the sterling silver badges. I feel like that's my best bet. And I did find a pretty cool set of insignia, which I'll show on screen now. It's for a lieutenant colonel, and it's dated on the back January 1925 with his initials. So the personalized inscription and sterling silver, just a really nice piece. I got a nice 4-pocket uniform jacket from World War II, U.S. Army. And something I didn't talk about on camera, but I'll show you guys now, is this great cigarette case. You'll notice, it's got the prop and the wings, the little pilot insignia on the front. It also has a prop as its cover. And I think it's also important to remember that, like, if I had shown up and I hadn't found a pile of Militaria that I could get for relatively low prices, like, I only would have paid $5 to walk in and had a nice time walking around the Deerfield Fairground with my girlfriend, $5. So that alone, the price point, it's worth it for you to go look. Even if you're not super into US stuff, even if you want to roll the dice that maybe you'll find some real German thing or somebody with a bayonet on the table that's not going to ask you $500 or some ridiculous amount of money. It's worth it just for the experience. Just get there early enough that you don't get stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. So I'm going to give Brimfield North a 3 out of 5 on the Militaria scale. If you're an Allied collector, if you like a nice sterling silver badge, you're going to be able to find that, and you're going to pay almost nothing for it. You're going to walk away happy. If you're looking for high-end German stuff, if you're looking for Soviet stuff, things like that, you're probably not going to find it at Brimfield North. If you do find it, it's probably not going to be real, but that's a problem everywhere. The show's not guilty of that. Again, it's only $5 to get in. It's right there in New Hampshire, so if you don't make it to the show in Boxborough, Massachusetts, if you don't make it to the bigger shows, but you still want to get out there and spend an afternoon looking at dusty stuff that smells like mothballs, I would recommend Brimfield North. And if you like videos like this and you want more videos where we review antique shows, review Militaria shows, maybe even antique stores. Maybe there's an antique store that you drive by all the time and you say, I don't want to take the time to go in there and see if they have Militaria for sale. What if this place is only selling furniture that's been painted white and then sanded roughly to look old, which I fucking hate more than anything in this world? Let me know about it. Maybe I'll be able to drive in there. Maybe I'll check it out. And if you're interested in any of the items that you saw in this video, most of them are now for sale on my website, which is www.queencitymilitaria.com. My name is Joshua Doda. I'll see you at the next Brimfield Fair. Look me up. Give me a call. Shoot me a DM when you get there next year, next fall. We'll have a fucking Italian sausage together.